Welcome back. Today we are talking about how to do your NDIS application. So in the last video, we created your Proto account. Now we're going to use that Proto account to log in and do the NDIS application. So what you need to do is first log in to Proto. So put in your username and password and click log in. This will now send a code to the email address that you set up, or you can also send a code to a backup channel if you set up your SMS email, so your backup code to your email. It'll then be SMSed to you. So I'm then going to put in the code. And now we're being taken to the Proto portal. So in these tiles, you'll use this for other things once you're a registered provider, but for now we're doing our application. So we're going to come down here to the application portal, which is the NDIS Quality and Safeguard Commission. This is the application portal here. If you're renewing your application, if this is your third time at audit and you're doing your renewal, you'll enter via the provider portal. But for now, we're going to go via the applications portal as if this was the first application we were doing, not a renewal. So we click on application portal. Now, at this point, I have been into this portal before. If you haven't, they will take you through a short email address verification where you'll be taken to verify your email address before you can access this page. I've accessed this before, so it'll take me straight into the application portal. So on this page, you have a disclaimer about logging into the portal, and you need to click I agree. You're taken to this page, which is the application portal. So you're going to come up to the top here and click New Application to be registered as an NDIS provider. If you've done that previously, your application will be here under draft. On this page, you're going to click Start a New Application. The first thing you're going to do is put in your ABN number and choose your company type, which is most probably going to be an Australian private company. If you're registering as a sole trader, we need to talk because that can have many downsides. Maybe book a consult with me to chat if you're looking at doing a sole trader. I really suggest that you have a think about that and what the implications of that are before you do that. So you put in your ABN and you put in the private company and you click pre-fill. That'll automatically bring up your company name, your ACN. You need to select if you're part of a trust, and you need to say if you're a government entity or not. You then need to choose your registered trading name and enter an email address, phone number, and phone number, and click Save to continue. You'll then be taken to this page where you put in your email address again and click I agree. On this page, it's going to have your details pulled from ASIC. So it's got your ABN, it's given you an application reference number, and it's got your details down here. You then go and we're going to fill out these orange boxes on the side to make them green. The first thing is provider details. Under the provider details, you can update the business name if it's incorrect, and you can see all of your details, including your email and phone number. You then, once this is all correct, click Mark as complete and continue. This automatically populates your address, so you can either add a new one, or if it's correct, click Add as Mark as complete and continue. Next, you need to add a contact detail of one person. Ideally, you want to put any primary contacts in here, key people, any directors as an example. So you would put their first name, last name, date of birth, position, whether they're the director, as an example. Are they a key person? Their email address, their phone number, the percentage of share they have in the business. Is it 50? Is it 100%, etc.? If you've got multiple owners, it's good to have all of them here, and click Save and Continue. If you do have a worker screening ID, you can put the ID number in here, but it's not mandatory. Okay, once that is added, you can see that you've got the details down here under contacts, and you can click Mark as complete and continue. If there's another key person you want to add, you can add them by clicking Add. Next, we're taken to suitability questions. So this is quite important. Your suitability questions are all of the questions around your fitness as a key person. And we need to really take this seriously and give information that is correct, because the commission will know anyway. So you might as well tell them if there's something that you need to disclose. First, we're going to put in here some details about your experience. This is a maximum of 2,000 characters and can be quite brief. Things that you could put is things like, I have worked as a disability support worker for the last 10 years, working with people, working with children, adults, and in a variety of settings. I mean, that's just an example. You can put something in here. Don't worry about trying to make it sound too amazing. It's really just basic details about what you've delivered, the supports you've delivered to people with disability within the context of the work that you do. So if you are an OT, you would put that. If you don't have an experience in disability, but you might be building SDA homes, then you'd put your experience as a builder. That's relevant to whatever it is you're applying for. Next, we are going to read through these and answer them honestly. So it simply comes up here and has the question. So this question is, have you had ever been convicted of a indictable offence? You click yes or no. If it's a yes, you need to put some details in here and click Save and Continue. We're going to do that across all of these questions now. All right, so I've answered no to all of those questions. If I had answered yes, I can also attach any documents here that might be relevant. So if you were bankrupt, as an example, many years ago, you'd want to upload information about that here. You can then click Mark as complete and continue. Next is service delivery questions. Now, it's important that you think about these and answer these correctly, because these actually do have a big impact on your audit cost, your audit complexity, and what registration groups and modules you're going to be audited against. So let's walk through that. First, I click Update. So, are you going to provide any medications? So if you're doing SIL as an example, or you're working in the home, you may be required to support participants with day-to-day medication, in which case you should say yes, and this will add medication as a standard in the next part when we get to the practice standards. There'll be an additional thing for you to fill out there. So anything you say yes to here has an implication on the practice standards you need to be assessed against, your audit duration, and your audit cost. So you only want to say yes if you actually are going to be providing these services. So are you going to be giving medications? People in SIL or support work probably will. But if you are a gardener, if you are doing low risk supports, if you're doing allied health or behaviour support, the answer is probably going to be no. Are you required to manage disposal of infectious or hazardous substances or waste? So this could, again, support workers, someone in a SIL environment would probably say yes. They're probably going to have to deal with chemicals, whether it's just spray and wipe, or they might have to deal with continence aids. Next is, how do you implement a restrictive practice? So do you implement a restrictive practice or a behavior support? So this is people who are intending to take a behavior support plan and implement the strategies. That will trigger module 2A coming up. So only say yes if it's something that you do. Now, all of these ones, questions 4 all the way through to questions 10, are their high intensity nursing services. So you say yes to any of these that you are doing. You will require a registered nurse and someone who understands how to deliver and has experience and knowledge in delivering these services as part of your audit. So that is for bowel care, tracheotomy, urinary catheter management, complex wound care, providing subcut injections, enteral or peg feeds, ventilator management, and severe dysphagia. So only say yes if these are things you know you're going to be doing. Are you a approved residential aged care provider? You're most probably not, but if you are, you'll know that and you'll say yes. So again, only say yes to things here that you're actually going to be providing, because it does add cost and complication, and you need qualified people to be delivering these services. I've said no to all of them for the purpose of this video. Once you've filled all of that out, you'll see your answers and you'll be able to click Mark as complete and continue. So the next page is about registration groups, and I'm going to do the next video all about registration groups so that we can go through them one by one and really understand what you're applying for. But for the purpose of this video of actually completing the application, I'm just going to choose some low risk registration groups as an example. Okay, so let's choose some low risk ones. So I'm going to do household tasks for the purpose of this video, but you can see that the process is pretty simple. You click on the button to add the registration group. Understanding the registration groups is a little bit more complex, so we'll do a video just on that to make sure you're choosing the right groups. Once you've got your registration groups there and you're happy with all of them, you've double checked them, you click Mark as complete and continue. Now, whatever you put here really changes what happens on this page, which is the practice standards page. So if you're a core provider or you said yes to implementing restrictive practices, you're going to have a dramatically different page here that needs a whole lot of different amounts of work depending on what you've selected. And this is how they risk rate, and this is how they decide if you're a verified provider or a certified provider and what modules you're going to be audited against. It's really important that we get this step right, and that it really depends on the last two tabs that you completed, the registration groups and the service delivery questions being completed correctly. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you how to enter things here. We will do another video on the practice standards page in more detail, but for now, let's just go through and enter some information in here. Okay, so this is where you answer your self-assessment questions. I'll do a video about those, but for now, I'm just showing you the process of how to complete it. So underneath here, you need to put in a blurb of how you're going to meet against the quality indicators. It says that you must know the quality indicators, and you can see what those are here, and you would provide your response. I'll do another video about what to say here. For here, I'm just going to put in some text so that we can move to the next section and show you the application page in full. So here's a self-assessment that I developed and prepared earlier that I'm going to copy and paste into the box. I'm then going to paste in a pre-answer that I put in here as well and click next. And you're going to do this for all of the self-assessment, all the quality indicators and standards that are applicable to you. Right, now I've completed all of the outcomes and it's got the status of responded. I'm going to click back And I'm going to click Mark as complete to continue. Now I'm going to enter details about my service profile, and this information is added when you are approved. This is added to the portal for participants to find you and is other key information. So we want to put in how many participants you have and how many staff you have. You then want to select what participant groups you intend to work with. This doesn't add cost or complication to your audit, so you can add whatever groups here you feel you want to be supporting. And you simply tick the groups that you want to be working with. And click Save and Return. You then want to select the age group. Now, if you are working with people under 18, you will need to make sure that your staff have working with children checks in place. For the purpose of this, I'm going to say 17 to 65. Oh. Now, everything on that page is complete. I can click Mark as complete and continue. If you have NDIS workers, you can add them here, including their worker screening. If you don't yet, click Mark as complete and continue. We then need to add an outlet. You need to have at least one outlet, and an outlet can be an office or it can be a mobile site. So I'm going to put home office. I'm going to put it as a mobile office. I'm going to select not to publish the details because I don't want my home details selected. And I'm going to select yes, I want the address to be hidden. I'm going to put in an email address and a phone number. Oh, sorry, didn't like that. And a contact name. Then we're going to add an address, a start date, and the address. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. Choose an address, save, and return. We're then going to put in 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we're going to say it's the same every day. We then can choose our local government area or the areas we're going to provide services in. Now you can put in all of the areas or just the areas you want to work in, and you can update this once you're approved at any stage without going back through audit. So you don't need to add every single region for every single area, just the one to start with is fine. Next, we look at the registration groups we've added and we select that here. You can just select the main one. This again will be used for marketing materials and can be updated without an audit at a later stage once you're approved. You then select your profession. I'm going to say that I am a cleaner or maybe a gardener. We then click submit and continue. Right, that's now our outlet. We click back. We've got our office here set up and we're going to click Mark as complete and continue. So this has taken us to the last page, the declaration, where you're going to confirm that everything you've said is true and correct and that you have no conflicts of interest you want to declare. If you have a conflict, you can update it here. Otherwise, read through this information, ensure everything is accurate and click Submit Application. Once you've submitted, On the screen will be a scope of audit form you need to download, and that'll also come as an email. And we'll talk about the scope of audit in another video. So that is a run through of how to complete the NDIS application once you've had your Prota login. The next video is going to take you through registration groups, and then we'll have a video about the practice standards page so that you can understand that more. This was to give you an overview so you understand the steps that are needed and the information you need to go and collect before you can go through this process. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.